Hi there. My name is Scott Metcalf. I'm an account manager from Birst, and I thought I'd take you on a quick walkthrough of some of the functionality within Birst with the use case in mind. I happen to be a Fitbit user. I've been using the Fitbit for about 3 years now. It's an activity tracker, tracks my steps, calorie burn, sleep. Even the newer version actually records heart rate, which I find pretty interesting. I thought, what can I do with that data? Well, first I had to get the data. Fitbit's kind enough to, as long as it's for personal use, allow you to get your data. And so I actually went ahead and got my data. And here's a representation of that data in an Excel spreadsheet. I actually got a raw CSV file. Didn't have to do any manipulation. Basically have that data in the spreadsheet. So I took that, and I thought I'd walk you through the example how I might do some things with that data to visualize it in the Birst platform. First thing you'll do when you log into Birst is create a new space, and I'm just going to select the default for an automatic data model. I don't have to know any SQL. I'll call this Fitbit. I'm going to go ahead and select done and just go through the real simple process of uploading that data and then doing some manipulation. It's a self-guided process to get through the admin interface. There are a lot of things that you can do here, so a lot of functionality, but we're just going to keep this demonstration simple and go ahead and upload this file. Here it is, the spreadsheet. I'm going to accept the defaults. Certainly there are more options for handling the data, but go ahead and process that data. I'll take that spreadsheet, get it from your spreadsheet to your computer up into the cloud so that I can work with that data. Only takes a second or so, and once it comes back, I'll have a log of all the interactions between your spreadsheet and the Birst platform. Here, if I click on details, I can quickly see that it processed 787 rows in less than about 3/10 of a second. I happen to know this data, and it's based on European or metric scales, so that's an issue for those of us in the US that are challenged in that respect. So I'm going to go ahead and create a custom measure that I'm going to call weight in pounds. And it's based on the metric weight, which I actually have to calculate as similar as you might do in an Excel spreadsheet. So weight times 2.2046. I did have to Google that number to come up with it, but basically I will go ahead and hit OK. It'll create a calculated field that I can use in my reports that will actually give me weight. I may actually also want to go in and turn kilometers into miles. So I'll take the distance, multiply that times 0.62137, and I have my second calculated field. So you begin to see here, you can actually do a lot with the platform that's outside of just the raw data that you've uploaded. So I'm going to reprocess that information. It's basically going to refresh the data model and come up with all the fields available for me. Again, it only takes a little bit of time to do that. Once I've done, I'll jump back in just to show you the raw data again, and then what you can do with that data. So if I go back to the second tab, which is Define Sources, and look under the Manage Sources, it's a much longer demonstration to show you all the functionality there. But here I can see all of the names, the data types, the width of those columns, something that any data scientist or modeler would know. I, as a generic end user, don't need to know that. But here's the raw data in that format in the system. So I'm going to actually jump out of the admin interface and jump right into what you can actually do with the data. So I thought it might be a good exercise to build a personal dashboard of sorts. So I'll go into our dashboard tool. Here in the upper left-hand corner, I can go back into the various main navigations for that space. But just within the dashboard, I can do some pretty interesting things. I can quickly add a KPI. So KPI might be, well, steps. Wouldn't it be interesting to pull in my lifetime steps? So of all the data, like I said, I've been a user for a little while. I might change the data to lifetime steps, and I'll accept that as a KPI. From here, I can basically drag it around. I can resize. We would call these a dashlet. I can basically choose a layout, which will actually resize it for me automatically. Let's do the exercise again. We'll pull in KPIs, maybe for my lifetime calories. Pull that one in. Just to show you another example, we'll quickly pull in another KPI, maybe for, actually, I don't want distance kilometers, I want it in miles. So I'll show you the calculated field that we did, so 6,000 lifetime miles. Again, I'll just quickly change the layout, but again, these can be resized. And so going, I guess, a little bit beyond that, let me go ahead and hit publish so I save all my data. I may actually want a little more dynamic reports. So let me show you that example. Right here from the dashboard interface, I can choose an existing report that might be a catalog of other things or components that others or myself have created. But from this interface, I can actually go create a new report. And I'll go back in, and it actually pulls all those measures that have already been created for me, and those that I created myself. So here you get the example of weight in pounds and miles in here. It actually, under attributes, it created all the time elements, even though it only has one date field for every day. Birst is smart enough to know that those could break down into years and months and quarters, so it's done all that heavy lifting for me ahead of time. So let me show you maybe a quick report. Okay, I'll pull in weight. Oftentimes it's quicker to search, so I've got two weight elements, one in kilograms, one in pounds. I'll pull pounds onto the canvas, and this is just lifetime for all measurements. I really don't weigh that much, so I do need to break it down by date to start to build. So here's a date field that's based on that Fitbit data. I'll pull it in, and you'll begin to see in pounds the graph visualized for that. So actually here we've got a lot of different elements that it's actually having time drawing on the canvas. I may actually want to filter that. I don't want 3 years in this chart that will scroll forever. So I'm going to actually filter by, let me pull in a month. Let's do year and month. So I'm going to choose a filter. So I just pull it in. It actually might recognize or recommend for me various charts to change it, but I'm just going to go ahead and filter that information, and I'm going to go maybe on the current month. Hit apply. It'll repaint the canvas so I can visualize that data. In the upper right-hand corner, I can change the visualization. I happen to actually like a chart that looks like that. So I can certainly change colors. There's a lot you can do in here in this interface, but that's a quick example. And so when I go ahead and hit save, I'll give the option of giving it a name, weight by month. I'll go ahead and hit save. It'll give me the option to add that to the dashboard. I'll go ahead and hit OK, and it'll take me back to that dashboard interface. Again, I can choose that layout to quickly kind of resize it to my heart's content. Maybe the last thing I'll show you, let's save this, and we'll add maybe one more element to conclude the demo. Thought might maybe be interesting to actually filter this information. So from this dashboard interface, I'll select a filter, and I'll create a filter that is going to be based on, let's base it on a year. Might be make sense to break this down by year. So pretty simple. I'll select year, and I've got a lot of values here, so I'm just going to quickly open this advanced mode. Make sure, actually basic mode, here's where it is. I actually want to list the available values. So I'm going to list there, and I'm going to put in a few options myself. So I'll say 2015, returns of value 215, 14, and 2013. It's actually all the data I have. Once I've got that, I'll select no default option. I'll save that information, make sure it's selected, hit done. Now I have a pick list that I can resize, maybe put down here in the corner. And now if I publish the page, and let's say instead of lifetime steps, I select by year, and all of these dashlets are recategorized based on only the information out of 2015. Obviously, I may pay special attention to the headers and such, but you get a quick idea. This is an example how I can quickly take spreadsheet data, get it into the Birst platform, play with it, and provide some interesting visualizations. So that concludes the demo. I hope you have enough information to get a good taste of Birst. Thank you.